So this is M++ on the PlayStation 4. It released on July 28th for $20. This game is the sequel to M+. I personally played M+ on the Xbox 360 arcade. It was a great game then, and this game is very similar to that. I enjoyed that game quite a bit back then. If you enjoyed M+, it's likely that you're going to like M++. So let's get into the game to kind of show you some of the stuff that I noticed when I was playing it. So for these episodes here, you have the intro episodes, which are kind of a tutorial, and each of these little blocks in the cube represent 5 levels. So as you can see, for this tab here, there's quite a few levels that you can play through in the game. And the first is the tutorial type levels, and then the regular M++ levels. And then finally the legacy levels, which I assume are levels from previous games in the series. So let's go ahead and play through a tutorial level to kind of show you the gameplay of it. And if you played M+, this should look really familiar. If you haven't played it, M++ is a platformer game, kind of a puzzle platformer. The goal of it in each level is to get the switch in the level which opens the door, and there's usually various puzzles that you have to work your way through and avoid traps and enemies to get to the door. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of movement in the game, and there's these traps on the ground here, these kind of purplish mines on the ground will kill you if you run over them, and that's just some of the early traps in the game. So that was the first tutorial level, which is pretty basic for it, but let me show you one of the harder levels in the game, and I probably won't be able to complete this because I am talking at the same time, which distracts me a little bit, but as you can see, one of the new features in this is that when you run over these little switches in the air, it creates a mine. And also you can see that a copy of myself is chasing me right now, and that copy will follow my movements that I make after it spawns. So you can see, if you watch it, it's going to do exactly what I did a few seconds earlier, and that copy will eventually there'll be even more copies through the level, as you'll see in just a moment here. And let me go ahead and just go here to see that more copies are going to keep spawning through the level and make it harder and harder to complete the level. And this is just one of the early hard levels that I encountered. I'm sure there's quite a few more in here, and it just gets quite ridiculous, as you see, trying to avoid everything. And this is just one of the early harder levels that I've encountered in it. So let's go ahead and quit out of that. And there's quite a few different levels here. I'm going to just randomly select one here. As you can see, this one has a lot of like mines in it to avoid. Let's select another one. This has a lot of robots that you have to avoid. If you hit one of them, they'll fry you. And a lot of these levels, though, are very quick, and that's one of the things I like about this game, is that you can usually quickly complete the levels in it and just move on to the next one. So it's really good if you just want the sense of progression in it. So looking at the other game modes here, there's a co-op mode. It uses the same interface where you have the tutorial missions, the regular missions, and the legacy ones. Most of the tutorial levels, there are some objectives in it that take advantage of the fact that you have a second player. Many times you'll have to sacrifice one player to allow the other to exit the level, but as long as one person reaches the exit, both of you succeed. One really important thing to note is that there is no online co-op in this game. A lot of people have complained about that. On the PlayStation 4, at least, there is a way to do online co-op, but it involves a share play feature, and I did test this last night with someone. I jumped into their co-op game through share play, and it was not a good experience. It might be that person's internet connection was poor, but I was getting about a half a second of input lag. So just keep that in mind, that there is a way to play co-op, but it is not optimal at all. But if you just do want to get that trophy for completing all the co-op episodes, that might be a way that you can do it, to kind of complete the levels that you need a second player for. There is a race mode that is very similar to the regular levels. I haven't messed around much in this mode, but the main goal of it is just to get to the exit as quickly as possible. And I assume that's scored based on how quickly you can get there, and picking up gold will continue to add to your timer. But we'll go ahead and exit out of that. It's just mostly the same mode as far as I can see, with a little bit of a twist on it. One thing I found really great in this game is the user-made levels. Now, I'm not someone who is very creative and can make levels, but this game does have quite a few really well-made levels in it from other creators. And you can see here that there's a featured and top, newest, hardest settings that you can look at these levels that are created by the community. And I assume that the featured is curated by the developer, and the others are based on the level. Like hardest would be the most difficult to complete levels, and we'll look at some of these real quick here. Obviously that's not something I'm going to be able to complete, but in theory it probably is completable. So it is just really neat how many good levels have been here. And there is one I wanted to briefly show you here, just to show kind of how great some of these levels can be. This is one I saw earlier. It's a auto-completing level, so I'm actually just putting the controller down and the level is playing itself. And there are a few like this that I have seen, and they really look great. And it's really credit to the creator of this level who made this, who put in the time to do this, and it shows just how amazing the community is for creating these levels. So I'm going to just stop talking for a moment and let you watch the end of this. So yeah, as you can see, that's just pretty amazing what kind of quality of creators there are making levels for this. And there is a creator mode for it where you can make levels like that. I'm not going to go in there because I did look at it. It definitely went over my head as far as like a casual person for it and someone who's not very creative. But obviously they do give you some powerful tools to make levels in this game. The story here is a quick little one-page thing. Basically, you are a ninja, and then some other stuff in it. There is a options menu with some funny stuff in it. This main thing down here I like. Is it art? And obviously I think that you continue unlocking these options because of the question marks here as you play through the game. Or maybe not, I haven't actually looked into that yet to see what this is. Looking at the other options here, there's a profile which keeps track of what you've done in the game and how much you've actually completed in it. The trophies in the game are quite hard. I haven't fully looked at them yet, but I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be able to platinum the game, and the game does have a platinum trophy in it. I did play this game through Vita Remote Play, and it was quite good on Remote Play. The only problem is there is a very small amount of input lag on that, so if you are... This game is a game you don't want much input lag, but I did find it playable. It was very, very slight. It was just barely noticeable. I did want to mention that there is some input lag if you do play this on your Vita through Remote Play, but it is a really good game to play on your Vita. Most platformers do work very well on the Vita. So I don't think there's that much to go over in this. I'll just go ahead and maybe show you one more level here. I'll just randomly pick one set here, and This is N++. I like it. I would recommend it to anyone who played N+, and if you do like this kind of platformers, these kind of hard puzzle platformers, it is a good game. I would probably recommend it, and so far I am enjoying it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'm going to die here.